Just I got out of after school and I'm at my friend's house. Well, my other friends, because she goes to middle school, and so middle schoolers like get off at a different time than elementary people, well, kids. So I'm just waiting at her house with, yeah. Now it sounds like I'm a stalker. But her parents are here. They just ran down to the office because they needed first to get out the mail, and then also some other things at the office. So they need to do that, and it's perfect because it's around the time when I'm going to be ending the live, so it's perfect amount of time so I don't have background noises. And yeah, and one thing you should know is that there's a lot of flies, not fruit flies, but flies, because they just like, there's something to do with the building and what happened before, like before everything, before they moved in. So there's a lot of flies. I'm sorry. But yeah. So basically what I wanted to tell you guys is that I really wanted to do a live instead of just a video, because a live is where you could basically live, so anyone could like your video like normal, and also they can like comment stuff, and so then you guys can comment if it's like, if this is happening to you or if you've been in this situation and stuff like that. And most of the time this doesn't happen, what I'm about to say is in elementary school. It's probably like in a different grade, like older grade, but this is happening in elementary school and fourth grade to be exact, and more specific is fourth grade. I'm in fourth grade. I look like I'm in middle school or fifth grade, but I'm in fourth grade. And yeah. And what's basically going on is that I really, on the internet, I'm me, but I feel like most friends, not friends, but their friends' parents, either I did something in the past that they don't like, and so they go back to the past and then remember that in the future, which is now, and they just think I'm a bad influence. So basically what happened is, back around a couple months ago, it's not really in the past, I was very mean. And basically what I want to get this straight is that most people, when I say, or when somebody says a couple months, it's like 2, 3 last month. This was at least 9 months ago. So basically, if you had a baby, or if you were pregnant at the time that this all would happen, then you would probably have your baby by now. I'm a weird human. But basically it was like 9 months ago, and 9 months ago I was like, I feel like I was a baddie, and I'm still a little bit of baddie, like a little bit, but I kind of am like a little bit less, because I don't have anger issues. Like, it is very, not very hard, but I'll just say that it's hard for me to get angry at someone. Like, literally they have to go through so much to get me angry. So I don't want to say that I have anger issues, which I don't, but I just get very mad. And that's basically what's anger issues. But anger issues is when you want to kill someone, you want to fight them, you want to say a bunch of things. And that's not what happens to me. For number one, that does not happen to me. Number two, I do not have anger issues. And number three, what basically went down is me and my friend had a sleepover girl that was my friend, let's call her Sarah. So Sarah was one of the friends that was at my sleepover. And it wasn't like a sleepover birthday party. It was just like a chill sleepover. Like, let's get together, let's have a sleepover. And I live in an apartment building, so there's multiple apartment buildings, I guess. And so we both live in the same apartment complex kind of thing. I live in one building and she lives in another, and we could go to our houses. And so I'm like, yeah, let's have a sleepover. And so my dad gave his information, like name, phone number, house phone number, to the parents. And then there was 2 girls and they were sisters. So one, I said her name's Sarah, we made it up. And the other, let's call her Cece. Sarah and Cece. Sarah and Cece went to my sleepover, like a sleepover. And then in the morning, like everything was fine in the night. And then we went to bed, and the next morning, we just decided that we want to go somewhere. And we didn't want to just go on a walk outside of school, not outside of school, but, like, not on a walk around the neighborhood or anything, just a walk around, like, the town. So we walked around the town, and me and Cece were very tired, and Sarah was like she brought her scooter, and we went to a place, I don't know what it was, but we went to this place, and she just we hanged out there, we saw a bunch of stuff, and we went back. Well, we didn't went back, but we went to another spot that I guess we just walked around the town. And so we walked there. Sarah was on her scooter, and she was roaming past us. And so me and Cece were left behind while she was in the front, like way, not that far, but she was kind of far. And so we were just walking down, everything's fine. And so while we came back, me and Cece were very tired. And we kind of just planned out everything that we were going to do when we got home. And what our plan was just explained to me so much. We were just going to go home, relax, lay on the couch with some blankets, turn off all the lights, turn the TV down a little, just kind of quiet, and watch SpongeBob. And we didn't have tea at the time, so we were planning if I did have tea, we would have drank it. But we didn't, so we just chilled down, and then we had some meals because Sarah's that kind of person that she's kind of like a mom because she loves cleaning, and she is kind of like the mom. So we called her Mom on that sleepover, like that Pacific time. So we were like, Mom, can you help me with something? And so she was making us some pizzas. And it was just a microwave pizza that you took out of the box, put it on a plate, and put it in the microwave, and you'll be done. And so we ate that. And then something went around where we just talked about my crush. And we were like, because me and Sarah were talking about my crush, and we were like, hey, let's make a song if me and him dated. So we made a song, and it was Perfect from Ed Sheeran, And yeah, so we played it, we danced around, and then I'm like, hey, Perfect's not my song, but my old song with me and him, it wasn't because me and him are dating, but if we won, this would be our song. Well, past song was Perfect 2. I don't remember who it's by, but it's called Perfect 2. But then I changed it, and now it's Perfect by Ed Sheeran. And basically, what, like, we just sang along, and then I'm like, hey, since I changed your line to Perfect, why don't you take Perfect 2 and just make it you and your crush's song? And so she told me, and the guy's name, I'm not going to say it for private reasons, but he's not really in the story, so I'm not going to give him a name. So we kind of talked, and Sarah said that she liked him, and I'm like, I can't believe it, and all the shocking things. And so she just went around, and I'm like, okay, Perfect 2 would be your song. And so we played that. Sarah would tell my crush that I like him, and I would tell her crush that she liked him while she was telling my crush that I liked him. And so like, yeah, that's fine. And then I think Cece, dang it, no, got the names wrong. Oh my god. So what I was saying just a couple of minutes ago or seconds ago was when I was saying that me and Sarah was talking about our crushes. Ashley was Cece, because I just don't remember that. Sarah's the other sister's name, and Cece is the other one. And so Cece was the one that me and her were talking about our crushes. Sarah was just listening to the song and doing whatever she was doing. I wasn't recognizing what she was doing because I was listening to what Cece had to say. And so then Sarah decided, I'm gonna go and take a little, I don't remember what she said. Either it was, I'm gonna just walk outside for a minute, or I'm gonna talk to one of my friends or whatever. And so she went outside, and let me remind you what I just said. What I said like a couple of minutes ago was this was way back in like 9 months ago. So I changed. And you can't just change that easy, but I feel like I wasn't that mean and self-judgment and stuff like that. And so the dumb mean friend that I was I thought it was funny to go through Sarah's backpack, and Sarah put like her clothes and everything, like toothbrush and stuff for the sleepover. And so the dumb fun I am, I started pulling stuff out, pulling her clothes out, and then she had this book that she got. Like it's just like this book that it's just like, it's not like a book, like a book. It's just like a line, like this kind of like, I don't know what shape it is. It's just like a line. It's a book. And so I guess it was hers. I knew it was hers. And so I pulled it up, I took the pen out, and then I just started seeing what it was. And I took the pen and I wrote, it was like, hey. I don't remember what it was. Like, I didn't remember everything that I wrote, but it was like, hey, just wanted to remind you that you're a loser. And something else with my name. And so basically in the past, I used to joke around with my friends saying that, like, calling, like, I knew that they weren't losers, like they were not at all losers, like I guess I just joked around with calling them Lusos and stuff. And so she took that into a whole different direction, which I thought she wouldn't take. And basically, she took the other path, and I thought she was going to that path. And she saw a couple days after I wrote it, and then she got really sad that I called her a loser in the note, and I and then her dad was like, okay, just don't be her friend. And stuff went down before that, and like, okay. And so things went down before that happened, like the note and the sleepover and stuff. Just a bunch of things that her mom wanted to talk to me about. And so at that time, her parents hated me. And I feel like their parents and their family doesn't want me to be in their life anymore. And I can agree with that. But, so dad was like, yeah, don't be her friend. And so she was like, she respected that, and she was like, okay. And so Cece and Sarah wasn't my friend anymore. And then her friend, well, Cece and Sarah's friend, well, Cece and Sarah were my friends, and I didn't know that because I didn't know her dad said that. And so their cousin knocked on my door and was like, hey, do you want to talk about play with us? And it was just their cousin, and then Sarah, and I think Sarah's little brother. And so she was like saying that, it was just like I walked downstairs and we were like hanging out, and then I don't know what she said, but I feel like out of the nowhere she just said, my dad said I couldn't be friends with you and I couldn't play with you and stuff. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And so, like I said, they respected that, and I would respect it too, but yeah. I wouldn't really respect it, but yeah. And so I was like, it was just like a really boring thing because like we weren't doing anything fun, like we weren't playing at all. We were just talking and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go inside because it's getting a little boring. And so their cousin was like, bye, Lily, and I'm like, bye. And then I went home, and then I kind of thought about it, but I didn't really take it into my mind and really like process it. I just like thought about it and was like, oh, okay. And so then, that was on I think a Sunday, and then on Monday, which is I think today. No, that was yesterday. Today's a Tuesday. So yesterday, it was like in the morning, we weren't friends at all. We weren't talking, we were just annoying. Not annoying, but we were just annoying each other. That is very rude. Annoying each other. Annoying is like getting irritated. Annoying is like not worth talking to. So, I'm talking my brain. Saying this in my brain without any cameras. Okay. think I just forgot the thing. But, okay, so in my brain right now, it's saying that annoying is two things. Annoying could be like annoying someone, like irritating someone. And then annoying also could be like not listening to someone, like annoying someone. I don't know, but I feel like there's like two meanings of annoying someone, so I'm gonna be like. So the other reason why, the other meaning of annoying, which is like not listening to someone what they had to say, and so we just like basically didn't listen to what each other had to say, and so that's basically what fourth graders and third graders put in their mind that say, "What up, friends?" And so we kind of move on, but then towards math, I'm like, Cece, why do you have so much gum wrappers in her desk? And she's like, shh. And I'm like, okay. And she's that kind of person that would be like, shh. Those are my ex's bodies. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, I'll see you. Like, you love gum, I love gum, okay. And so she was just, and I didn't know if we were friends at all or not, but I don't know. And so then today's Tuesday, that happened, the math thing. Gum thing happened on Monday. Today's Tuesday, and what happened on Tuesday was so I think at reading, she was like, but Cece was like, hey Lily, I know we can't be friends, but let's secretly be friends. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, okay, okay. And so she was just kind of like, okay. And then it was kind of like at that point I'm like, okay, like I think we're friends, but I don't know because it's like secret friends. Like we're friends, not friends. Okay. And so I was like, okay, like, and then I moved on with my day, and then it was like at the end of the day, and it's when most kids would either go home, like, let's go home, like, school's over. And so I walked home by myself, no friends, no one. And so I walked home, and then also Cece and Sarah was walking with her friend. That was also my friend at the time because I've known her longer. And yeah. And she's not really kind of in most part, but she is in the part which I'm going to say at the end, which I'm getting to the end of the video. So I'll just say her name because she's mostly in the part of me walking home. So her name should be Violet. So Violet, Cece, and Sarah walked home, and I saw them, and I was like running up to them, and I'm like, Cece, Chanel. No, Sarah. Okay. So I'm like, Cece, Sarah. And so, and then also, what did I name her? Violet. And so Violet, Cece, and Sarah walked, And I walked where they were walking because they all three live in the same neighborhood complex. And so then they started to run. And I'm like, okay. Oh, I don't know why you wanted, but okay. And so then I don't see them because they run off. And then I kind of get to the place where it's basically kind of in the middle. And I pass the school. I pass the school. I kind of was at the school, so I didn't pass it. Just like at the school, so I basically passed it. I was like in the middle of my house, like the apartments, and then school. So yeah. And then they called my name, and it kind of sounded like my friend, and she was sick that day. So I'm like, and it was kind of in the part where like I heard them call my name. So like basically where I was, like I was right here, and then houses were like kind of like right here, and then I guess they were like right here, like over here. And so they were shouting my name, and I thought I heard it from over here, like the apartments, and it kind of sounded like my friend's voice. So I'm like, okay, she might have just like saw me, and she just screamed my name. And so I looked back, and I didn't want to be like weird because I never saw anyone behind me, but I knew someone was calling my name. So it's kind of like in that awkward stage. It's like I hear someone call my voice, my name. I don't know where. I'm just gonna pretend I don't hear it. So I look behind me, and then I look back, and then I like walk, and then I keep on looking back. And I keep on like smiling. And, like I'm not like smiling like something's funny. I just like okay, like okay, like I'm gonna pretend nothing happened. And so like that kind of smile. And so I hear, because Sarah does a noise. Don't know what it is, but she does a noise. And I'm like, okay, that's not who I thought it was, but it's them. And I'm like, okay, what do they want to say to me? And so I keep on walking, like I didn't hear anything. And then basically, kind of at the part where I walk down a long sidewalk to get to a place where it's basically at the end, right by my apartment building. And so I'm about to go. It's like I'm about to go on that long sidewalk, and I look behind me and I see them. So I just keep on walking, and I feel like they knew that I saw them because I stopped, and then I looked straight at them, and they saw me look at them. So I just kept on walking just a little tiny bit, and then I stopped, and then I just looked at them, and then I walked basically back where you turn the corner. I just wait there for them to get closer to me. And so then, what did I name her? Violet. So Violet was like, why did you call her a loser? And I'm like, what? And she's like, why did you call her a loser? And I'm like, because it was a joke. And it was like a joke, like what I said, like back to what I was saying a couple minutes ago, was I said, like I meant for it to be a joke, like that kind of thing. That like it's like a serious joke, but it's like a joke. Like it's meant for a joke. But it's like it goes a tiny bit higher than a joke. And so back to what I was saying is that she also got really sad and emotional about what I said to her in the note, and so she was like, oh, like, and I'm like, okay. And she was like, well, my dad, like, it was like, well, I'm not allowed to be your friend. And I'm like, I know that. And so Violet was like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna be your friend either. Like, if they're your friend, then I'm gonna be your friend, but if they're not your friend, I'm not gonna be your friend. And I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I was like, I don't need them in my life. Like, basically, in 3rd grade, when I was in 3rd grade, I met Cece and Sarah, and we were friends, and it's kind of like when you add a friend, like, you have plenty of friends, but you just somehow make a friend. And it's like, and in my head, I'm like, okay, like, basically I have enough friends. Like, I'm fine to lose a friend. Like, I have plenty. And so in my head, I just said that. And I'm like, also, like, I don't also need you, Violet, because, like, it's just, like, a couple people. And so she was like, okay, like, yeah, like, I'm not gonna be your friend and everything. And so they walk past me, and I, like, go down. And so we're basically in the middle where I only have a couple more, like, minutes, like, 3-4 minutes to walk, to cross the street, to go to most of the part where it's close to my house. And I hear them, because it's a hill, so it's like a stop. It's not a stoplight, but it's like where I am. And then it's like a street, and then it goes down. And I really need to hurry this up because someone's coming. Not someone, but they're about to come. And yeah. And so she was like, and so they started screaming, Lily, and I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to call him Goldfish because I'm looking at my fish right now. I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at the tank, and that's what came to my mind is Goldfish. So they were like, Lily and Goldfish. Well, it was like, Lily likes Goldfish. Lily likes Goldfish. And I looked back, and I'm like, really? Really? Like, this is going to, like, be drama. Like, literally drama. Like, why don't you just call Dr. Phil? And so they kept on singing that. And then I felt like I heard them also, like, kind of close because it's, like, right by the woods. And I thought that I hear them say that in the woods, but I don't know. It could just be, like, birds chirping or anything. And so I thought that I heard them say it again deeper in the forest. And so, like, it just, like, yeah. And I walked home, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be drama. Like, can I just please move schools? And yeah. And so I kind of, like, walk in, about to turn to go to my house, and I see them, and I'm like, oh my god, well, they're gonna start singing that. Well, not singing it, but saying it. So I'm gonna move that way because I usually go past the house, turn, and then there's, like, a sidewalk that goes up to my apartment. But I just took a sharp turn that can also lead to my house. And so I took a turn, and I'm basically in the area because I'm in the apartment buildings. So I'm, like, it's not a walk. And so they don't see me, and I get home, and it just, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have a lot of drama. And that's basically the end of the story. But I like story time. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna plan for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. And Violet is friends with my other friends, and then that friend's friends with my best friend. And so everything's done. Okay. Because I need someone in my life where I can just talk to and they won't say a word. Like, they can listen to me, and I could say stuff to them, and they would listen to me, and then they won't have an answer. They will just listen to me. just so there's no one to give me answers or anything that I should do. I just need someone that I could just blurt it out to, that wouldn't say a word, that just would just sit there, listen to me, and then live their life and not speak of a word. And just so that I could get everything off my chest. And so I don't know what's going to plan for tomorrow. I feel like I should make a series of this. This is going to be a long tomorrow. I feel like I should just wear like a hoodie and just like not do anything on my fight tomorrow. Yep. I wonder if I can like get those Zappo things like in the movies, like in Gravity Falls. You can put it on their head and they forget everything. That would be fun. Okay. Well, that's the end of this live. And I'm going to hate my life tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you what happened at the end of the day. Bye. I hate my life.